Good morning, everybody. How we feeling? All right. Welcome in, everyone. Got another good trading session going on today. All right, let's get it. Okay. All right, so at the moment we're seeing metals, indices crash, oil starting to get a good bounce. I see, from what I can tell, a lot of the squad in here has was able to take a position on oil just recently. So we'll have a couple things here we're going to be diving into. And yeah, just dive in from there. So, first, a little cafecito. Cheers. Cheers to the gang. Man, life's good. Life is good. What's up, Gerardo, Joe, Seth, Karen, Brandon, what up, everybody? Lonzo, in oil buys. Me too. Joe, all right, let's go. I also took a loss in that first zone. Harshly, what's good? Got Fernando in here. Corey, a little silver shakeout. I didn't take that. I didn't see it until now. I was walking the douche. I missed oil, hopped on right at 5:30. And by the time I figured out my risk, I felt like I was chasing it. I get you. I totally get you. I had one account not get triggered in, and then one of my Tradeify accounts, I'm like in this weird territory where I think they're having a dashboard issue just across the board for a couple different reasons. So I'm like 1% away from the consistency rule, but I know I'm actually under it. So I couldn't take it with that account, unfortunately, but you know, it's okay. Good evening, Kazakhstan. Morning, Kanoe from Hawaii. It's like 3 in the morning over there. What's up, Brandon? Good morning. What do you see? Shakeout YM. I'm gonna look at Dow here in a second. What's up, Luis, Cansada, Angelo, Luisa Barcenas, Claudio, morning guys. Madison, happy Friday. Okay, for sure. You know what, man? Happy Friday. Sure. Cheers. What up, y'all? All right, you're in an NQ cell. Cool. What did you see to take NQ cells? Cafecito, taquitos, a little shakeout kind of thing here. I don't think I would have taken this. Yeah, I wouldn't have really had an entry, but damn, nice. Congrats on this sell, because this thing is going super well. Okay, so looking at the market right now, it is very clear that NASDAQ is a lot more bullish than Dow and S&P. So, actually, I mean, yes and no. So we have been dropping off pretty aggressively for the last hour. I'd say we're actually dropping more aggressively with Nas than we are with Dow. And here's why I say that. Take a look at this. NQ already has broken below this low that it made over here. So we're getting a lot more of a bearish move, at least pre-New York Open. Maybe this changes. And then we have Dow that's still at a higher low. So there's definitely divergence at the moment. Obviously, these things can change. But we are seeing a bit more bearish momentum over here. So, okay. For now, at least, it looks like it's dropping more aggressively. This, by the time we have New York Open here in 8 minutes, it could change. You know, you could start seeing kind of things flip around. But what we're looking at for opportunity in general, if you want to take a look at the structure overall, the really key levels for market structure are right here. So here's your higher high, your higher low, and then you work your way all the way to here. So really we're just inside of this range. Obviously we're trading, I mean, basically at all-time highs. So anywhere in this area, if you wanted to find buys, then you know you want to look for ideally more in the extremes. So trading, you know, maybe over here. But even then, this is not great price action in my opinion for anything. There's not a very clear liquidity capture. Here you get one last big push down before the market rallied yesterday and just continued bullish. Here's where it played out of this liquidity sweep. So we have a decent move over here. It's not a mass liquidity sweep, but you do have a lot, like you can tell money comes in, it just doesn't liquidate too much. And then we kind of just chop our way out of here. On the way out, you start to see consolidation through our Asian session, which is pretty typical. From there, you get a minor push down here. So you do get some movement. So let's say we wanted to get a little bit more detail. You do get a bit of movement going pre-London. Like right before London Open, you see this sweep down and then the continuation. So this is a small move before it rallies, and then you start getting a just smaller time frame, higher highs and continuations. So yeah, you know, if we're gonna see some buys, there's a chance you get a decent bounce out of this one. I wouldn't go full risk on this. I'd probably go half, and then there's a decent chance down here as well. However, I'm gonna be very, very on the money with how Dow is moving and S&P. Now, Dow started to crash out way earlier, so we see a couple hours ago it just started to melt, just absolutely melt down, and this was a huge move, taking out any and all buyers leading into Tokyo session here. So we had this quickly work its way up over here, and honestly we started to actually kind of chop up over here before it slowly worked its way back to this level. So I actually kind of understand buys on Dow right now. This is the liquidity capture, so this takes up a whole bunch of money, comes back up, so you see break and retest sellers, and this lures in some buyers. So if you're under the impression that this is just luring in sellers and then it could be a good buy setup, I actually totally understand the buy. I would have preferred a lower entry. I don't think I'll take a position right now, but I can see why the market would want to keep pushing higher here. So we see Dow work its way below with New York lows here. Yesterday, this takes out some of these lows, and here's the overall, I mean, like here's where we're going, right? We have this entire move on Dow Jones, playing into last Wednesday, like a week ago. So getting all the way back down here, I definitely think is a possibility. And I think we're better off just selling towards this area. This buy here on Dow would be very short term. It would not. I wouldn't be doing this for a long time or anything. And I'm not going to take this right now. We already kind of started to get movement out of here. But my whole point was that this push down that we saw with the aggressive recovery, the intent, in my opinion, was just to clear out as many retail buys as were loading up basically during London and during Asian session. So we got that move. You see price doesn't want to trade down here. And honestly, we see it happen again. So can Dow still go and take out Tokyo lows and keep going lower? For sure. But there's, I think, going to be some short-term movement back up before we get that. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's happening over here and what the final decision is, because we clearly get a big pump with NQ up here. And based on how the market continues to trade, this can turn into an area to sell into. So, yeah, just gonna let this open, let it do its thing. You can see here, S&P finally gets its way above these highs. So I'm gonna go to the minis just so you can see it very clearly. Yeah, S&P now clears all-time highs, instantly reverses. I think we're in shorts territory. This could be the very beginning of a decent reversal, maybe just for the rest of the week. Especially with S&P taking out these highs like this. Wow, this is great. Yeah, this was good. Like, this took to take out the high, London high, the weekly high, and then just works its way down. So seeing the market kind of trade back up to here at some point today, I think the shorts are in. Yeah, I think the shorts are going to be in today. So if we can position ourselves into something like that, that would be great. And then, yeah, so I'm mainly more on the selling side today. And that's indices. If you guys took that shakeout buy on Dow, you guys moving pretty decent. It is shorts weather. Metals have been continuously pushing further down and down. It looks like indices are going to as well. And then that brings us to oil. That's been pretty bullish. So I'm in buys right now on oil. I was on the walk. I was walking, so my limit kind of malfunctioned. And so I still like the risk reward. So I took a higher entry. But yeah, I had a limit like right down here. And since my copy trader, my lead account, I turned off. I then had to go manually position myself after that. But I'm in, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, but metals are already been just continuously leading the move. Where I think we can get gold too. I think the area where gold wants to go is down to these areas over here. So yesterday we had a good gold buy that we ended up taking profit on, which is why it doesn't really matter how good your entry is if your exit sucks, if you're over ambitious with your exits. And I would say the kryptonite for a lot of like smart money based traders is your exit. Like, because your entry is so good, you just wanna, I don't know, there's this thing like you're gonna catch everything ever, like just the entire movement. But that's not the case. Ooh, okay, Adobe's back. I love it. So, yeah, gold getting to this imbalance down here, that's how I'm perceiving it. So I think we'll have a relatively bearish day for metals. And then silver reacted off of this zone that we marked up yesterday. So you guys had a really good opportunity here on silver if you were up around these times. Otherwise, I think from here we have the lows of last week still to wipe out from the metals market. So I do think we'll see a nice liquidity capture at some point. So if right now you're missing, like let's say you feel like you get triggered into pretty good trades, but you just end up not really, like if you're just not profitable at all, maybe not long term even, but like even if short term, you find yourself like, man, like I feel like I win, but I'm not profitable, like I'm just not making any progress, then wow, Dow ripping. The buy was good. It was so good. So okay, these are moving in opposite directions right now. All right, New York open, Dow's pumping, NQ is melting. So what that means is you can independently approach these ideas. For the most part, you should be able to. If there was a setup you were looking to take, then, and I wish I would have seen this Dow buy like a second faster. I could have gotten into here, like we saw, like it was like right there, and we would be sitting at maybe like a 2R right now, give or take. But either way, regarding entry opportunities right now, since we're seeing very opposing movement, you can approach the market. Like for example, let's say you like NASDAQ here. This is like 130 price action. Then I would just, I don't really know if I would take this one, because we're seeing aggressive movement. So we're already trading into these times. So if you like this enough, because this was a decent liquidity sweep, if you like this idea, pull the trigger. I would say understand what you're willing to lose with it though. Like be prepared to lose, but have a winning attitude. You know, like when I go into the market, I know I can lose. I don't trade having to like I need to win. That's not the case. I know that I'm pretty good, so I'm going in. I'm like, I could win here, but I'm prepared to lose. Like I'm willing to give it up. Like it's always an exchange. So as long as you have that type of mentality, you should be okay. Okay, so look at how we're now breaking above this area over here, crashing through. S&P is following more of Dow or NQ's footsteps. So S&P more on the bear side. And honestly, S&P breaking this low right here, like if we get S&P to liquidate this structure like within the range here, I believe if we get below this and it times into NQ trading into here, I actually think that might be a trade worth taking then. This is where you start to get extra correlation, extra confluences in the market, and you're able to not just make a decision based off of one confirmation on one asset. Now you're trading multiple. So I think when you get movement like that, it's honestly fantastic. So metals here starting to recover a bit. And so there, as you can see, you're seeing a bit more movement like Dow. Dow ripping completely. So if Dow ends up, because right now we can see we basically ended up having an accumulation. There's low demand over here, low demand over here. So if Dow ends up maintaining bullish structure for some time, I mean, we might be in buying markets again later for Dow Jones. It's just going to depend. Like we want to see the market prove some good trading here. Otherwise, just can't be forcing anything, you know? So NQ still working its way down. I'm not convicted on buys quite yet. We got below London lows. Dow just doing its own thing. Something about my intuition here is telling me to avoid this this buy at the moment. S&P is starting to give some signs of reversals here, like it's starting to hold up a little bit better. See that? Yeah, I might just stay away from indices to kick things off. Now we've seen gold, right, really bearish. We saw here, right at like 720, 718. We started to see the market push higher, drop down again, push again. So we started to see just a lot of money coming into this here. We break below for gold, and then we've been trading below this for the last 30 minutes or so. And it's been maintaining below really well. So despite gold still just continuously dropping and dropping and dropping, I don't necessarily think that, I think that we could be in sells here. What's the button? Here we go. So if we can maintain more bearish structure here, then I like gold sells at some point. If the longer it takes to work its way over to here, the better, in my opinion. All right, oil coming back up, cool. So we're moving decent with oil, very nice. There we go. So here's S&P making that push down again, and Q's getting into the same zone. Everything's dropping in unison now. So does Dow end up rejecting order blocks or go lower? Like I mentioned, I would love to see a liquidity sweep here. Then that would give us a decent reversal. So I'm going to hold off on NQ. So no NQ buy again. Remember, it's not just about being able to get winning trades. It's about avoiding trades that just aren't as good. They're not worthy of your money. So, all right, now we just got S&P down to these lows. NQ still doing this thing. So now that takes us to, so you avoid the middle of the range movement. These have a lower win rate anyways. So great. The longer we trade down here, the better chances are that this sell eventually plays out. So whenever we would get that, which is great. And then now we get to see how Dow continues to move. So Dow takes out, as you can see, Dow takes out the highs that it kind of built up over here and then worked its way lower. So at some point, I do believe, did anyone take profit on Dow buys on over here in this area? Anyone take that? Take some profits? Let me know in the chat. You're in silver, cool. Start doing way better when you start to go for 1 to 3s. Nice. You're in 6E sell, aiming for Tokyo low. Okay, 6E sell, Tokyo low. Let's see. So you saw a sweep of liquidity here. It's continuously making breaks, failed breaks of structure in that zone. Again, my God, Euro does not want to do anything. What was your entry in here? Takes this out, and then once it recovers, you just take your position there. Well, whatever it was. Can we get to Tokyo lows? Is that too ambitious? No, I wouldn't say it's too ambitious. With all of this consolidation, you have enough money, enough liquidity to keep driving this lower. The conservative exit is definitely right here. Like where this imbalance is, like if you were looking for your first exit, if you're more of a you want a higher win rate, then yeah, and this imbalance is a great exit. But taking London lows and Tokyo lows, I'd say London lows is pretty likely. Following the plan, break even accordingly. Nice. No mames, man, I'm getting wrecked. Why are you getting wrecked? How you doing that, man? All right. Continuing to see NQ bleed out. Dow holding it down still. So at this point, I think going for NQ is going to be, for example, like, since this is dropping the most, I just don't think it's the best idea. The low that we're trading out of here is Tuesday, like 10:40 to 11 a.m. Central. If you look at Dow on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central was like over here. It kept going down. So yeah, the price action is just so different here. I wouldn't say it's really worth it. Here we have the Dow take out the highs, not create bullish structure either. So, yeah, I'm chilling. Do I wish I was in the market right now? Yeah, it'd be great. That would be lovely. But, you know, well, I mean, I'm in an oil buy, I guess, so that's nice. How's that doing? Climbing our way up, slowly but surely. Where do you guys have your targets on oil for your oil buys? So I have, now that we started to fill, you know, we had the massive liquidity sweep. Kind of two different things happened in this moment. Let me make this less saturated. But here, either the market ends up typically consolidating around here and then we end up getting another pullback and a continuation, or it just goes through. So if you are, let's say, in a better position than me, which I know many of you probably are, this is why, like, this can be a great area for take profit, and then you end up looking for a second entry down here. Or you just give yourself some sort of, like, if you believe you're going to end up getting a shakeout setup, then if you take profit, you know, it's locked in for sure and you can have a secondary entry. Or you just hold that position. With the pullback, you then stack a new one, and then now if it does go your way, you're really riding. Like, you're riding out into the sunset. So my exit right now, it might be a little shorter than this. I do think we can go hit London highs. Do I manually mark the highs and lows? Nah, so the boy Seth, like a year ago, or maybe longer, put me onto this session marker right here. Farah trading sessions high and low. You can just go to your indicators button, and then it's right there. So yeah, check it out. So right now, it's kind of that area where either it's going to consolidate, dip down, and then run, or it'll just keep going. I'm willing to just hold it and then see it through. All right, now S&P bleeding out below Tokyo lows. Dow coming down. And Q also coming down. So NASDAQ and S&P have swept Tokyo lows and now is in what I would say possible reversal zones for either or. And then we have Dow. So this is reversal territory now that it's swept liquidity for Tokyo lows. But what looks significantly better in price action is Dow. Dow is not melting the same way. So if you could find motive here, then I can understand the Dow buys. Or if you think, nah, these are going to just keep kind of trading in opposite directions, then the NQ buys make sense. And that's what they've been doing mostly. So unfortunately, I'm yapping too much and not trading enough. But this buy here, I would not take this with full risk. And this might just leave without me right now. So like the sell-off here was about 90, just shy of 100 points. So I would want to see at least like 100 points. That's what I would consider like the mitigation, the exchange from buyers to sellers. So it's happening actually right on the money. Yeah, right right on the money. After Tokyo swept liquidity across the board, then you start to see money kind of come in here. Just not quite fully mitigated, about halfway there. So if you come back in here and price action is decent enough, maybe it's worth taking. But even then, right, it's dropping the most. It's not like Dow's only going up this whole time. So this is messy price action, in my opinion. That's why I don't love it. Like, I don't love this NQ buy as much because Dow is not. Is it my call out? I mean, I wouldn't take credit for this buy because like I said, I'm not. Like, I see how Dow's moving and it's not convincing for me. So, best case, I'd be looking for maybe half risk or something on this. But just look at how it's still the most bearish of all. I can't figure out if Dow's going to go down and NQ is just going to go up. So you know what? I'm going to go half risk. I may regret this. I'm not fully convicted, so we shall see. It seems decent, but not great. So let me just do one more look at, here we go, price action here. Dow's going up, NQ's still going down. Are we gonna get the reversal? Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go light, but we're gonna do something. Let's see. No, I'm too slow, dude. I'm just too slow here. That's all. That's it. I'm just too slow. Slow. Oh, and now I did a limit instead of market execution. That's lovely. Got one contract in, super under leveraged on this one. Let's see. So to have a decent reversal here, remember we're looking for at least 100 points. So trading basically just about this high that we had seen earlier. So a little bit of profit, nothing crazy. Severely under leveraged over here. All right. Okay, so right now we're getting some good movement. We're about 60 ticks in, 60, 70 points up. So yeah, once we start to get like up into this area, if we break above here, that's when we can go into break even, or I'll go into break even territory. Obviously, you guys do what fits your system, what works better for you. Yeah, so we are seeing the inverse correlation. Dow is now dropping a bit more, and then NQ is going up. So they are moving kind of in opposite directions. So okay, that's cool. So we're just about that 90-point mitigation. All right, so at this point, depending on where your stop is, reduce your risk. That's what I'm doing, at least, obviously. I'm reducing here. And if we're looking at Dow and NQ, Dow, I don't know what the fuck Dow's doing, but decent movement back at this point, right? So we're following along with the higher time frame trend. So we're looking at it from this point of view. And as you guys saw, it took me a bit to really get conviction on this idea. I wanted to really read Dow's price action to get a better take on this. Obviously, since I didn't have as much conviction, my contracts matched that. So good enough, not great. And then at this point, regarding trade management, I'm still giving it some breathing room, so my risk is pretty minimal, and I'm willing to see this through. If we aggressively recover, because we've now liquidated tons of Tokyo, London, so working our way back up here, I think is pretty likely. But that kind of changes how I would approach this sell. Because if we're not going to have any sort of sustainable lows over here, and the intention mainly was to liquidate these buyers, kind of changes what kind of movement we get over here. So we'll see what this looks like later. All right, so we're getting some good reversals. Some of you might be up a decent amount. Like my entry was trash, but whatever. We're running, let's see, the stop was originally supposed to be like over here, but if you took it where I took it, then right now you're sitting at, let's go over here. Right now you're sitting at almost a 1R, about a 1R. I feel like some of you are at roughly a 1R, just shy of 100 points in profit. 100 points is a good day. Can't be mad about that. You know, can't be upset about 100 points. How we doing, guys? How do you decide once price mitigates if you're moving your stop loss to break even or reduce it? It's just based on the price action. So if I'm able to, I'm gonna reduce. So my go-to is reducing my stop. If price action here, so let's say we traded out of here in a really efficient way, then it's a lot easier to reduce this. So like, let's say this would have been a bit more like pullbacks like this. Then, you know, I could have adjusted a lot easier. Right now, we saw the reversal here, some choppiness, and we're kind of just slowly chopping our way up. So I'm okay with trading right here. And then just in case we pull back, just to tap into these order blocks and then continuations. Have a little bit of an imbalance right there. So based on how we're moving, yeah, I'm okay with kind of seeing that. So like right now, like we're seeing the pullback. So if we pull back into this imbalance and then recover, let's say, you know, start getting higher. Okay, cool. Now I can start tightening up. Stayed out. I totally get staying out. Yeah, it's okay. I don't think this wasn't like a textbook play or anything, so I think staying out was fine. Got in there, cool. Would you take a shakeout on NQ if it comes back? If it makes sense, it's possible, yeah. Because we saw a great liquidity sweep, market comes right back in. That could be the case, for sure. Dow pushing harder. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if these are moving really weird. So I feel like it's gonna work out because I think Dow's gonna start crashing and then NQ is gonna start pumping. But if we were to, yeah, maintain some structure here for a little bit longer on the pullback, like I would have preferred this. So I know some of you are looking for like a shakeout entry. I think based on how the market came up for just a few minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. It's a lower probability entry, but definitely still a possibility. Right now, the market to me is not like screaming like textbook setups. It's more like, yeah, it's good, it's all right, but it's not great. You asked me about gold, would I still take it? So we end up breaking below. We end up trading below here for 40 minutes. Try to go up, lose some momentum. Silver isn't really giving us any sort of sign either. I think I'd pass on gold too, to be honest. Based on how the market's moving right now, I feel like I would rather have more exposure with just clear market conditions. Like, I know as traders, you know, you're here, you're observing. You want to make the most out of your time, obviously. But the maturity in a trader is to just understand that when, if what you need, like if what you personally have in mind to be able to, you know, put your money at risk in order to make some, if it just doesn't look that great, then like, whatever. Because remember, like, the downside, that's it. Remember the downside. It's not like opting out of being in the markets is also just keeping your money. You know, it's like the equivalent of, like, you could spend your money. Everything is an attack on your attention and your wallets, right? So just because you can doesn't mean you should. With this, same thing. Cool, you do have money to risk. You have the time to trade, but it doesn't mean that you should. Yeah. With this, we've had better times, for sure. Let me zoom out a little. I want to see where we're at. Did anyone end up taking, what was it? There were buys in here that we were looking for. Oh, the euro got close, but it missed, huh? The yen is back in buying zones. Selling for USD JPY. I want it lower though, so I still have it alert a lot lower. Mexican peso we're still waiting on from a couple weeks back. We chillin'. And then now Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin got to this low on the 4-hour from Saturday. I think this is very much reversal territory for Bitcoin over here. So NQ can follow along Bitcoin's price action. They can trade together and work its way up to here. Yeah, I think NQ is gonna do its thing. I see it. Worked our way down. ETH with a liquidity sweep as well. Yeah, if we're putting all the chess pieces together between crypto, indices, metals, there's motive for this to recover some more. Minimum to here, if not like working its way all the way back over here, where you have this huge buy. So like, yeah, Bitcoin's got ways to go right now. Okay. That helps at least my bias. Not that it needed to, but it does give it a bit more confirmation. Funny enough, what's moving the most bullish now is definitely not NQ. Dow, S&P, and NQ kind of chilling. Squeezing. Before I forget, I did want to go over options and stocks really quick because of Adobe. Right, I had my Adobe. Oh, it spiked in. That's what it was. I had a entry alerts. If you didn't already get in here in like the 240 range, 238. So this mitigated already. So I'm going for a huge play on this one. But I wanted to just make sure that you guys were in the loop. And so there's no point in time where someone go like, oh, he didn't tell me about Adobe. He didn't tell me about Nintendo. Let's see, Lulu starting to recover a bit, 5% on the day. Nike in recovery mode. ENPH, let's go, 100% on this soon. Fuck yeah. 100% gains. I'm gonna take profit. Looks like maybe this week, maybe today even. Okay. Cool. Let's see. A lot of, yeah, everything's pushing today. Quite a bit. If you're in like big, like the majors, like blue chips with stocks, and if you're someone that does like cycle your profits, I know some people just buy and you just hold forever, which is cool. But if you do cycle some of those and you are looking at like the big blue chip stocks, let me know and I can look at those too. Just to give you guys some opinions on whether it's time to take some money off the table or not. Let's see, Nvidia. Crashing out right now. What's Apple again? Apple did on a mission. Here was the buy that we called out earlier last year. 75% since then. Decent. Okay, I'm gonna move away from stocks. Any questions with that, just let me know. Sitting on my hands, that's good. Yeah, it's gotta, that's more than okay. If NQ holds down here for a while, that makes sales valid. Check us out. I missed this, man. You trolling us. It's okay. Yeah, the way that NQ is moving right now, I'm not going to prioritize short still, just because even on the 15, we're still bullish. So for me, the drop down looks more like a liquidity sweep rather than the trend, the direction changing, the overall flow of the market changing. So like if we can't get past this and we just start to stall out and all that, then yeah, I totally get that. Then maybe that's a different conversation, right? Oil inventories are tomorrow due to the holiday on Monday. Perfect. Thanks for the update, Seth. Appreciate you. Still holding shop from your call out around 50. Let's go, Dennis. You're a beast. That entry was goated. And I would keep holding shop. If just this thing is not done by any means. I'm looking to add more here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm looking to stack a bit more. I added some a couple days ago. I think it was last week actually. So this is for me this is one worth holding. I don't see Shopify going down at all. You bought Snap and PSKY. I don't have PSKY. I took profit on Snap. I'm not going to sell gold. It doesn't look good to me. Something about it is not, I'm not convinced. To me, I think this looks more like a liquidity sweep. I'm okay with missing out on this one. I wish you all the best though. If you do take a gold sell, then yeah, hopefully that goes your way. But I am chilling on that. Here's silver or silver. Silver is chilling too. Yeah, so this is not a sell for me. I'm not selling. No estoy vendiendo. And Q shakeout, right? That's what you guys are saying. It's pretty choppy. A little like one of those aggressive push downs, like just like that, is I'd say a pretty good position. Throw a contract in here. Did I do a limit again? Bro. I meant to do market execution right there. What a noob. Yeah, this is just more of a stacking in order here. And then sell stop right there. All right, so yeah, I added a position since I have my stop reduced, and this is under the impression that this is luring in retail sellers. So now retail sellers are in a decent profit, and then now that we have more liquidity that we could get the reversal here. Obviously that could not play out, and especially if we're just depending on how, honestly, I don't know how the correlation is going to keep moving with Dow and NQ, but if, for example, if Dow is going to be reversing to the downside here, then that typically, based on how things are happening today, like right now, then that would be good news for NQ. So I added another contract here. My risk exposure still isn't really big at all, and so yeah, I'm chilling. Let's see if Tradeify wants to pay me yet. Sure. Guess not. All right, so let's see if this shakeout is a thing or not. Dow still pushing. Maybe it's going to take out this high and then drop. S&P probably is the better, like the higher probability play, since it's holding a little bit better structure. So for example, if you're like, well, you know, I want kind of the middle ground, I would totally understand this position here. You see the liquidity capture, price holds pretty decent. up here. It trades up here for some pretty good amount of time, 5 minutes or so. We're also chopping up over here. So if this was like your idea, I get it. And Q in a little bit of drawdown. I think S&P has a decent opportunity. I think it's worth taking. My exposure is pretty minimal right now overall. So taking it from here, does that still position me for a 2R? A little bit under. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So there's a chance NQ doesn't last, doesn't survive, but S&P does. I'll tell you what, I don't know what I was doing in my life before a copy trader. Oh my God. These are privileged times. All right, so basically longs between either NQ or S&P. And then we have oil just chopping sideways, something like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get the shakeout with oil too, that dump down and up. Especially if we think indices are going to go up, then oil could do the pullback there. All right, NQ starting to get a bounce. So ES buys in profit, and Q buys, depending on your entries, are just, let's say, around entry, a little bit of drawdown, roughly. All right, we're on the move, folks. We're on the move. S&P, decent movement. Tight. If we break these highs, then I'm going to start to reduce, like, basically almost to entry. Set alerts here. ENPH. Ooh, that's time to sell. I might have had a limit already. So is anyone, I know this solar trade was like from well over a year ago. Anyone in that? I need 132 US dollars to pass my challenge. Any idea? Okay, so Daniel, right now, let me slow you down. So maybe you took that S&P trade, but whenever you're getting close to passing or a payout, that's when you need to regulate your decision making the most. Okay, don't force it. Like you don't have to pass today. It doesn't actually change your life today. Actually, you can change your life today if you make the wrong decision trying to force it right now. Okay, so just take the best trade. That's it. Maybe it doesn't even happen today. Maybe you took S&P. I don't know. But if you did, then hopefully it worked out. But the most dangerous moment for a trader is when you're the closest to a milestone and you get so fixated on the milestone. Don't worry about it. Just trade your game. Intel's up 469%. Oh, yeah, it's up crazy, bro. It's up so crazy. Dear God. Yeah, it's been a good year on the portfolio for sure. There's definitely some L's that I have in there too, so I'm not perfect. But there are some bangers. There are definitely some bangers in there. Okay, so we're seeing better movement out of S&P. Looks like it's following. So the nice thing sometimes about S&P trading is that it kind of splits the difference between how Nasdaq's moving and how Dow is moving. So right now it's favorable since Dow just keeps ripping. So it is helping out. Am I closing out ENPH? I'm definitely going to take some off the table. I might just take all of it off the table, honestly. Let me double check. I know that's my first target here. I think we could go higher, but I want to take profit and just cycle into Adobe. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to just, because I have just good opportunities other places. If I didn't have another setup, then I probably wouldn't. But I do. And I think it's more likely that Adobe doubles than this doubling again. I think it's going to happen faster with Adobe. All right, guys, we just took the highs here with S&P. So I'm going to reduce my risk exposure here, tighten that up. NQ pushing along nicely. Okay, oil slowly going down, so it's kind of holding it pretty well, actually. Nasdaq, chilling. I took MYM shakeout sell, gave it 2R, but since I was on the 10 second, I got wicked in and dragged my stop loss so quick. 10 second, damn. Oh yeah, I would build one myself for sure. I still might, honestly, just for personal uses. 114%. Let's sell Greg. Such facts. I blew 2 evals after being less than $500 away from passing. Yeah, if we just want to hold it. If you get so fixated, you ruin yourself. I took NQ. Run, baby, run. What do you think on sell on Dow? I don't think about sells on Dow. Could you see NQ filling up the imbalance in the 3 to 5 minute for a TP? Here? You're saying for the bias to fill like right over here? I think here or in here. Yeah. It's dragging its feet though, and Q is really chilling. If we start to see Dow go down and NQ keeps going higher, then I feel pretty good about it. Otherwise, I might actually just go break even. Because I'm not sure, like, because you guys know sometimes they're moving away from each other and then all of a sudden now they're perfectly in alignment and they're moving exactly in the same direction. All right, starting to get that oil, because this is creating kind of a channel, right? So you see how this is a form of liquidity here. So this breaking out, maybe it probably goes all the way down to even 89. That could be the motive. Oh. All right, we're getting movement. So this is what I'm talking about. Dow starts to crash, and then so does NQ. So it's not like they're moving in opposite directions anymore. You see what I mean? So there's a pretty good chance NQ is just not going to make it. If my theory here is correct, that they're going to keep moving in the same direction, and if Dow is like, all right, cool, now that I took out these highs, I'm going to just work my way lower. If they're going to flip-flop, or if they're going to be back in alignment, then that could be a problem for NQ, since NQ has the least amount of wiggle room for this trade. Like, it's just not in its favor. So considering we're already in a variety like S&P or NQ, I'm suspicious right now, you know. A lot of liquidity sitting up here. Yeah. The good thing is that this NQ trade is a pretty minimal trade. It's pretty small. Like I think it's pretty average. I totally understand if you're going to pull out of this trade, for sure. I don't like it as much either anymore. It doesn't have the same relationship with the market. Like Dow keeps going higher, and then now NQ is going lower. So it's like, what is happening here? Please pump Nas to moon. I think we're cooked, yo. I don't know if it's in the cards for us today. Yeah, I think that's game over here. Maybe, but I feel like it's unlikely. It's just following weird behavior. Like overall, it's just more prices just being suppressed way more for NQ. That's why I preferred Dow and our S&P and how it was moving for this kind of move here. Like we could still rally and bounce out of here. I mean, it's possible, but we'll see. Maybe a little revival out of here. This might be just was like, you know what? We just want to scare y'all a little bit more, get into this imbalance, and then make a comeback. See, now what I want to see is if Dow goes down like this, is that going to push NQ lower or higher? So look, Dow is pushing lower this minute, and Q is starting to push higher. So that inverse correlation is what I want to keep seeing more of. Because if we can get Dow to start melting and that pushes NQ up, then I mean we're good. And then we have S&P that's like, who am I? You know, I do want to give this some breathing room. I was too late. But because I do believe that all we did was build more over here, more liquidity, and that this could rally. Because look at how this is just melting off now. And this is still holding up. I'm not going to enter anything else. I don't really like how the markets are moving at all. It's like not really to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just too messy. It's too choppy. There's too many variables. Trading typically just feels easy. But when it moves like this, it's just like a kind of a mess. But on the bright side, oil is killing it. So see how that holds up, y'all. Maybe we get decent bounces with the market. All right. But I think to wrap up, let's see, where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin all the way down as well. And Q stopped. Yeah, so NQ stopped out. Let's see here. Which is fine with me. That's cool. Oil doing a great job holding it down. I think we still have this Bitcoin recovery happening at some point. But okay, yeah, I mean, I guess right now all I would do is keep some patience here. If you guys ended up taking gold, I think gold is still, I guess, kind of in there. I didn't take anything here. And then, yeah, so for now, keep your eyes out. I feel like since the market's been kind of weird to kick things off, we'll have a lot more clarity later on what the markets look like. Obviously, trades were in position of profit. Oil's still running at least decently enough. So good movement, continuations. I'm going to just keep holding. And then, yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the school community. Obviously, like, the more you use it, the more you get out of it. It's pretty straightforward. So if you need more resources, free resources, more lessons, get in there, check it out. I'll be uploading a video today. So I'll be uploading a video today just kind of breaking down a textbook setup that we took last week. So yeah, stay on point with that, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So take care, y'all.